What up, T-Birds? Pynk ladies just happen to be watchers of my shit. My name is Jimmi Pynk, and I'm sorry I'm late. But, and really in all honesty, I feel better, but not great. I should be at the gig, but it's fine. So I finally got to watch part 1 of the New Edition story. And let me tell y'all, thank you, BET, by not going the raggedy ass Lifetime movie route. You took the time to do very good casting. You did recreations of outfits correctly. You did do the usual thing you do where you take every possible black actor and actress that you could possibly find and put them in a role. However, they weren't just there because they were black actors. You really, these people did their thing. Couple different things I want to get out the way right away. And of course, y'all know the look goes as follows. You know, they was from Boston, so I'm rocking my Celtic shit. But there was people that were in their roles that I didn't recognize who they were. It took me till the second scene I seen her to realize Ronnie's mom was Lala. I'm like, bitch, and you can't even act, but this is a good role for you because you doing this. So much stuff you have to understand. I grew up with New Edition, the 12-inch A Candy Girl, which my sister, who was 8 years older than me, she owned that. That was the first record that she ever had that they bought for her. It wasn't just a record for the house. She still owns it. I grew up with this. The first song that I ever knew all the words to was Is This the End? So I was loving when they did that song. I was loving everything. This was fantastic. And because I'm late, I got to get set up for Riverdale because that's my big flagship review this month. Also, a couple days from now, we'll do The Witches Rebrew, but I'm super excited about Riverdale. For my Pynk ladies and my T-Birds, y'all know because I've been talking about it for about a month and a half now that was coming. First of all, these kid actors traditionally suck. I don't care. You have those rare exceptions like Anna Paquin in the piano and Jason Tremblay in Room and Quavonzane Wallace and Beast of the Southern Wild. You have those rare exceptions where kids are really good, but in general, kids fucking suck at acting. In general, they just do. These kids were really good. And not only that, it threw me off. They wouldn't have started off the movie the way that they did with the whole Bobby Brown and Ronnie coming and trying to kick him off the stage and them fighting because of Empire and because I know, I'm going to call him Yaz, Hakeem, I'm going to try to call him Yaz. Because I know Yaz's voice and when he came out and started singing Poison is the only way that I knew hands down that this was not a lip sync and these people was really singing. Only because from Empire, I know Yaz's voice that well. I was blown away by both actors that was doing Ralph. Because they sound just like him. That's why I was just quit playing. Quit playing. This is y'all lip syncing. Quit playing. The little one and the big one sounded just like Ralph. It was fucking amazing. And then just the background story. I did not know a lot of background story in New Edition. Obviously, when they were out, and they were out as kids, as we could see, they got together at 11 years old. Yeah, I definitely would have to say that I was probably about 3 or 4 when the Candy Girl album came out. So, in my era where I would want to know about an actor and want to find out everything about him and read magazine articles would be about the time that Bobby went solo and BBD, so it wasn't really a New Edition anymore. But this was phenomenal. So I did take a few notes. I didn't take a lot, and that's actually a good sign because that means I was into the movie. If I have a lot of notes, it's generally because I got time to write in all the notes. I didn't have time to write a lot of notes because I was in this story. Wood Harris did a great job as their manager. I never knew that Ronnie was his nephew. That scene was fantastic. I also want to give a shout out to my girl who I love, Yvette Nicole Brown. I fucking love Yvette Nicole Brown. And I was like, yes, work. And then like the scene where they was trying to vote the people out and they called her Shirley. I'm not going to lie. And I understand she's playing a real person whose name was Shirley. I'm not quite sure whose mother she was playing. I think she was Mike's mom. I can't remember. Even though I watched the scene where she was talking to the mother. I just don't remember. But it was crazy because her name was Shirley. And that was like the one time that took me completely out the show because I started thinking about Community. And I was like, oh, Shirley, I miss you on Community. So that like kind of threw me off a little bit. But I know like the hood don't really fuck with Community. And I was like, yeah, when you cast her and y'all wrote this script, maybe y'all shouldn't have called her by her name because that did take me out of it for like a hot second because her name was Shirley. And her probably most iconic role to date is as a character named Shirley. But it still gave me the warm and fuzzies because Community is fucking awesome. If you got Hulu, go watch all of Community. You will not be disappointed. It's fantastic. That's also where I love Donald Glover, Childish Gambino from too. But that's besides the point. We're talking about the New Edition story. So let me get into these notes. So the writing is good. Because even knowing what we know, and I haven't seen the other two parts yet, like to have Bobby was clearly always had aspirations of being a star, always had aspirations of going solo, but he had stage fright, so it was his idea to start them as a group. And Ronnie wasn't in the group at first. It wasn't until they got signed with Maurice Starr. They was like, y'all gonna be the new Jackson 5. Y'all gotta have 5. Good for Ronnie. You know what I'm saying? Ralph, when they wanted Ralph to go solo, and Ralph was like, that ain't how we do it where we from. They'd hate me when I get back home. I can't do that. So, and they took the talent show money and him and the sister went shopping and the mother broke down because Christmas was canceled until that. And she was just like, I'm not a parent. But I talk about my person of interest a lot who is a parent. And also my sister. And like I could see that being devastating to a parent that your young child at that is like, I know we couldn't do Christmas Mall, so I saved up our money and went and did Christmas for the whole family. I could see how that could break you down. And at that point, that was when Ralph was like, okay, you gonna sign me, you got to sign the whole group, because I felt like it was like, I'm eating, we all gonna eat. Even though they never fucking ate a $1.87 check. I don't know, and I know things are different, but it did seem like Brooke, their manager, Ronnie's uncle, I do see where that was a problem because he really didn't know what he was doing. However, he did basically help raise them kids, and as far as I can see in the story, unless I'm wrong, it seemed like they was all single mothers. So at least they did have a positive male figure in their life that was taking care of them, kept them out of trouble. They wasn't in no trouble. They wasn't fucking girls and doing all that wild shit until Michael Rappaport took them over and they was with MCA. So, and you don't know. Like I said, they hood. They ghetto. They live in the projects. They don't know. I'm like, I think all they needed to do is instead of firing him as their manager, hired a business manager. But of course you wouldn't know that then. And the music business is grimy as fuck. And back then, before people had the internet and started doing indie projects and started knowing how the business was. I mean, we've seen this 1,000 times. We've seen it with, not so much the Temptations, but we've seen the 5 Heartbeats and we've seen TLC. We've seen this story about motherfuckers having #1 records and going on tour and being broke. That's not a new story. However, the background, the camaraderie, how Ronnie got into the group, their upbringing was all what was covered with this. But I will say, man, they like super got played. Like $1.87. Wow. That's fucked up. And then I just want to know, because I'm watching the characters and I'm watching the thing and everything with them as kids, and I'm just seeing how they're playing each person. I'm like, so is Bobby Brown just generally an asshole? He was just born an asshole. He's just been an asshole his entire life. Like, because Bobby Brown just got on my goddamn nerves the whole entire first season, and we ain't even went to him getting solo yet. So I know Bobby Brown is going to get on my goddamn nerves. But anyway, with that being said, let me take a look at some of these other notes I got here. Ricky trying to mac on the little girl that Ralph liked. That was funny. Let's get into these nicknames. When like they were introducing the characters and they all had like these nicknames underneath. Let me throw a little bit of shade. Because like I said, I do like New Edition, so I did know a lot of that. I did know they called Ricky Slick. I did know that they called Ralph Rez. I didn't know that Ronnie's name wasn't Ronald. I forgot what it was. It's not Ronald, though. I always just assumed it was Ronald because his nickname was Ronnie, but it's not. It's something that I was like, how did y'all get to Ronnie? I do remember that. Mike is Mike. He never had a nickname underneath his. But let's talk about Bobby Brown, and y'all gonna put underneath Bobby Brown, the king of R&B. Stop it. Stop it. I know this is BET. I know we kind of worship Whitney as a deity. Like all hail the voice. But just because her high ass called her husband at the time the king of R&B, Bobby Brown is not the fucking king of R&B. Jamie Foxx done already told y'all, what does R&B stand for? Rocks and blunts? Bobby Brown is not the king of R&B. That's not his fucking nickname. Stop it with that. Cut all that shit out. Who the fuck told him to do that? That was just some BS right there. Let me see what else. I was wondering where Ronnie was, because obviously, like the whole first thing, it was 4 of them. Like they never, like I said, they got Ronnie Jackson 5, and it happened to be Brooks' nephew. Which arguably, really, in all honesty, if you remember, if you look at old New Edition footage, or if you in age that I am, that you remember not New Edition, Ronnie is actually the best dancer. He's also the worst singer, so it makes sense he got into the group by nepotism. But the way they morphed them when they were singing "Is This the End" and showing them as kids, and the way they morphed them and for the passage of time, so that it wasn't just now, boom, okay, now they older. Great job. That was brilliant. And I never actually seen that before. Of showing, okay, this is how we gonna introduce these new characters. They still on tour, but now they older, and I thought that was very well done. I said that. Hi, Yvette Nicole Brown. Hi, Lala. Hi, Dwayne Martin with your terrible wig. Monica Calhoun. I forgot what the other lady's name. Lisa Nicole somebody too. I remember she used to be in a few movies in the 90s. She always played like the Team Thickums, because she was always a Thickums, But like I said, BET is good for that. Like which I ain't mad at. Like they not like Empire, where it's like, okay, we gonna get all the black people, and BET is guilty of it too. All black shows are like, we the black show, so we gonna go get somebody that ain't had work since Methuselah was a motherfucking pup and put them in this role, even though it's not a good role for them. Perfect example is Empire. How you gonna have Chris Rock as a motherfucking a drug kingpin? That did not work at all. Plus, I think it also lent a lot of credibility that they didn't get huge black celebrities. I don't know who else is coming in part 2 and 3, but none of the people were like super duper famous. Like, so you don't have like a Chris Rock where they can't melt into the role. Like Wood Harris is pretty well known, but he ain't like A-list. Yvette Nicole Brown is like not A-list. Monica Calhoun, that's old school. Lala, like it took me a minute to realize that was Lala. And Faison Love, what's the one dude? I can't think of Jackie's last name. I know his name is Jackie. He comedian. He was on the Real Housewives, the Real Husbands of Hollywood, and used to go with Serena Williams, but he was the one that was Freeze. Unfreeze. Always nice to have a little comedy phase on love. But these are not like A-list actors, so it's not like you got Halle Berry playing a role where it's going to take you out of it because you recognize that's Halle Berry. I thought that was genius casting. Probably the most recognizable to the BET audience, honest to God, was probably as Biv. But I will say this, we didn't see that much of them yet. And because this is about the music business as well, I'm still seeing a little bit of Hakeem, and that is taking me out of it just a little bit, but I'd like to see more. I mean, he ain't horrible. It's just, it's kind of a similar character, except for he's not a spoiled rich kid, but he's still in the music industry. He's still cocky, kind of, you know. I do like what they did with, again, just knowing what I know about New Edition. I did like the way that they are shaping the characters. Like I said, you already kind of see Bobby Brown as an asshole. You kind of already see Ralph as like the nice one, the one that has a girlfriend, you know, the one this is like his family kind of. You see that Mike is the one that's persistent. He has the hard work ethic that was instilled in his mother. We don't turn down money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see he was the one asking questions. Oh, okay, it's a black man in charge, so this is something I can do. If you don't know, and I'm sure some of y'all have already seen part 2. Like I said, I haven't, so I don't know when this is coming up in the story. For those of you guys that don't know, Michael Bivins is who discovered Boyz II Men. So he had his own record label, Biv 10 Entertainment. So I like the way that he was the one that was asking the questions. Well, how you get to hook up with Universal? Like, he's already starting to be inquisitive about the actual business side of stuff. So I like these little nods that they're doing to their characters. Also, New Edition had a lot to do with this. So I feel like everybody is going, usually in a biopic, people are going to try to paint themselves in the best life possible, and the turmoil is going to be minimalized. But, you know, I feel like with this, I feel like they really want, you know, their story out there. Michael Rappaport, I got to say this, I love Michael Rappaport. Once again, he's probably also one that's a little, well, he's more recognizable to us on BET because as somebody put on Twitter so perfectly, he is the John B. of black movies. Michael Rappaport ass is going to be in every black movie. I don't remember the last time he was in just like a regular movie where it wasn't really a black movie. The closest thing I could say is Higher Learning, because Higher Learning was about race relations, so I wouldn't necessarily consider that a black movie, even though it was written by a black man and a black director. That was probably the most culturally diverse cast I ever seen Michael Rappaport in. He always in the black movies. But I love him. I've been trying to get him in the Chappelle race trade for years. Every time somebody do something stupid, Ben Carson, Stacey Dash, motherfucking, what's the bitch, Watermelondria, Raven Simone, every time they simple asses do something, I'd be like, well, can we just trade? We, the black delegation, would like to take Michael Rappaport. I'm always the one on Twitter saying, no, we don't need Justin Timberlake. We don't want Jackie Chan. We don't need Rachel Dolezal. Can we get Michael Rappaport? He one of us. He named his son after a motherfucking, the DJ and motherfucking, De La Soul. Come on now, Michael Rappaport, come on down. Come on down. You one of us. Come on down. Finally, I'm very excited to see part 2 and part 3. I know I probably won't be able to get to see part 3 until tomorrow because Riverdale comes on the same time as part 3. And I don't have enough time to finish part 2 before I watch Riverdale. So, like I said, everything is back to back. I ain't forget about y'all. Then I had some other issues where I had posted my Oscar and Razzie video, but I had to make it private for a little bit. We got some things going on. Needless to say, it's going to be a couple backgrounds that you're not going to be seeing in my videos anymore. And I'll just put it to you like that. But anyway, thank you for rocking with me. Let me know if y'all watched the New Edition movie, what y'all thought, if you liked it. If you've seen part 2, no spoilers, just let me know. Am I going to be gagging? Which I think I am, because when we get to part 2, it's probably going to be when I was older and I was a little bit more aware of stuff. Like I said, when Candy Girl came out, I was like 3 or 4 years old. So, this is this part 2 is going to be when I'm going to be able to relate to this stuff more. So that's going to be the era of BBD and Bobby Brown, Ralph as a solo artist. Once they get Johnny Gill, like that's all going to be when I was a teenager and aware of things. So I'm excited for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get this one posted up. Comment below. Let me know what y'all thought. And then I'll see y'all again later on tonight as soon as Riverdale get cracking. Oh, also, I just want to show this off because it's fucking dope. Thank you, 80s Tees. And this is not an endorsement. They just have sweet-ass t-shirts. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is a motherfucking Voltron shirt. The reason why I put it on is because I was like, yeah, from when this movie is taking place, I was in the Voltron. You see this? 80s Tees got some good shit for cheap. So that ain't a sponsor. But if anybody happen to see this to work for 80s Tees that want to sponsor me, run that shit. Yeah, also I have a contest winner for the last contest. So I'm going to be announcing that during the Riverdale review. So let me get something to eat, get some water, change into my Riverdale blue and gold, and I'll see y'all soon. Deuces.